in the West call the Korean War the Forgotten War. But there's no forgetting it in Korea. What does Korea look like after 3 years of war?
Well, you have some 3 million Koreans who lost their lives, 100,000 children were orphaned, some 10 million people were driven from their homes. There was utter, complete destruction. There was not a single building left standing in North Korea.
The two sides signed an armistice on July 27th, 1953.
This armistice, which was always intended as a temporary measure, not a lasting political settlement, basically set up a 4-kilometer Korean demilitarized zone along the 38th parallel, and that was designed to ensure complete cessation of hostilities.
So, you're saying, technically, they're still at war?
Yes, they're still at war.
So, although the armistice has held for more than 6 decades, the two sides are still at war. How might fighting resume?
The routes are being
what might the
calculated.
first hours look like?
Please select a route. Turn right onto B4102 at the end of the road.
The 38th parallel separating North and South Korea is now known as the Demilitarized Zone, or, as Americans like David Maxwell say, the DMZ.
The DMZ is surprisingly a very beautiful place, almost like a nature preserve.
Don't let the beauty fool you.
It is supposed to be demilitarized
Turn left
versus
in
how
300
they
yards.
are areas of the world.
David Maxwell is with Georgetown University's Center for Security Studies in the U.S. Back in the 1980s, he patrolled the DMZ with the U.S.
Turn
Army.
left now.
We had to, of course, look for tunnels that they could infiltrate under the DMZ and get into South Korea with a very large number of forces, and we expected that they would do that wearing South Korean uniforms, attack South Korean U.S. positions. I think you can imagine the utter chaos and confusion that would cause.
The prospect of suddenly having to fight was real, so his patrols were tense.
The DMZ is a haven for wildlife. Often you'll flush a quail and a bird will fly out and will make you jump.
David Maxwell moved on from the front line, up the chain of command, and eventually helped plan the response to a possible second North Korean invasion.
They have a 1.1 million man active duty army, about 70
In a quarter of a mile and then turn left at the third road.
between Pyongyang and the DMZ.
Now, I just want to linger on this 1.1 million number. Is that a big army?
I think with their reserve forces of some 6 million, I think they're the 4th largest army in the world.
So we have the 4th largest army in the world in a country with something like the 50th largest population. That surely tells you something.
They're right now.
We've heard how the last war started with a miscalculation. How might another start?
Miscalculation.
Turn left at the end of the road.
The worst path to war will be miscalculation by Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un is the current North Korean leader, grandson of the man who started the First Korean
Turn
War.
left at the second road now.
The war is when Kim Jong-un believes he is threatened. And this can be an external threat by a preemptive strike from the United States, by a miscalculation of alliance military moves, where he thinks the regime is subject to extreme threat.
Let's look at why the U.S. might attack. North Korea's missile program has changed dramatically under Kim Jong-un. Recent headlines have focused on the effort to make missiles fly further, but there's another element. It's also thought that some of the growing number of tests are training exercises. So not just testing if missiles work, but preparing soldiers to use them. All this increases the chance of what David Maxwell calls an American preemptive strike. And if Kim Jong-un believes that one is coming, he may order his commanders to start a war.
So, if I'm a North Korean commander, I will unleash the firepower of my artillery and inflict as much death and destruction on the South as I can. And in the first hours, there will literally be hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds and rockets fired to the South, and many of them into Seoul.
How long does it take a shell to get from North Korea to Seoul?
Well, not very long. We're talking less than minutes.